The word Trinity, in one sense, is optional. Now, we've come to love the word, and it's a helpful, useful word. If somebody, I don't know anybody that doesn't like it except people that are heretics. But
There you go.
What is essential is that we make this confession, that God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Right.
You don't even have to use the number 3.
Sure.
In talking about the Trinity, the only number that's essential is 1.
There you go.
You can say, God is Father, Son, Holy Spirit, there is one God, and you have made a very correct statement about the Trinity. But the word Trinity does become useful.
It's helpful. It really is. It's the gift of the early church to the modern
Yes.
church.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, in churches like ours, we're young, hip, cool, contemporary. We're drinking coffee, wearing T-shirts
I know.
and
We're
jeans.
just so cool. We can hardly stand
Look
it.
at that. And so, for churches like ours, we want to know what God is doing now. We want to know what is now. And we have overlooked these great gifts. And so it's good for churches like ours that are non-denominational, that are contemporary in our vibe and our feeling, to pay attention to these gifts.
So how important was the doctrine of the Trinity to the early church? I mean, was that like a minor issue with them, or?
No, it was absolutely essential for the early church, because the early Jesus movement was in the Roman Empire, and the Romans built on top of a Greek society, and it was polytheism. They had a pantheon of all these different gods. And then they were also known as a radical Jewish sect. So you had a Greek and Roman culture with many, many different gods, and then you had, of course, the Jewish tradition with one God, and the early church needed to establish who the Christian God was and to establish his uniqueness. Because today, you'll hear in the media, they'll speak of the 3 great monotheistic religions, mono meaning one, theistic meaning God. And they'll speak of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam as if we are all the same. But what the early Christians discovered is the Christian God is absolutely unique. There is no other God in any other religion that is one in substance and 3 in persons. And so they needed to establish that in order to preach the gospel right.
I'm glad you brought that up, because there is a general misnomer that Judaism, Christianity, and Islam basically have the same general conception of God, and that in fact is not true. Christianity is entirely unique in the way we view God, and that's why I insist that understanding the Trinity is important, because we want to understand God as He is. It isn't that let's just come up with some crazy doctrine that'll tie your head in knots. No, we wanted to discover God as He is, and this is the discovery we've made.
That's what the early church did. They were looking at the biblical witness. What did the teaching of the apostles say? What did Jesus teach? And they confidently believed, as we confidently believe, that this is who God has revealed Himself to be, this mysterious community of persons in one being.
I like that.